What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Dad, You're Wrong. I'm your host, Cam Farmer. I got the man, the myth, the legend, my dad, Mr. Terrence, and then I got Jaden, who looked like he just woke up from a long nap. But yeah, sorry we haven't been on in a minute. Grad school is a behemoth, and not only that, just really tackling grad assistantships, you know, in life, So it's but
Welcome.
yeah, welcome. Exactly. No, I understand that.
It now begins.
Yeah, no, I know. Like I'm like, dang, dad, is this what you experienced when you were 22, 23? God. But yeah, as you all know, the playoffs, NBA playoffs start today at 1 p.m. with the Orlando Magic at the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that's just the cream of the crop. So many great series happening all across the league today and tomorrow. A lot of anticipation built up. Will the Denver Nuggets repeat, or will the Boston Celtics finally, after much long awaited anticipation, will they finally get over the hump and win their first championship in 16 years? So then, or you have, is it the Fields? Is it the Los Angeles Clippers? Is it the New York Knicks? Is it their time to shine? Is it the Milwaukee Bucks? Is it who is going to win it all come June? Who's going to be hoisting up the Larry O'Brien Trophy come June? But there, like I said, there's a lot of anticipation built, and it's such a great atmosphere. I think this is probably the best season of basketball yet. Last year, you had great matchups, great series going on. But this year, given the way the sports world has been, particularly with basketball, particularly with the ascension of women's basketball and the women's game, in my personal opinion, it's always been lit. It's just everybody's just now starting to get with the program. But yeah, no, it's just a lot of going on right now in the game of basketball. So we're just gonna get right into it, man. We're just gonna talk about um, what's your most anticipated series, and who do you have winning that series, and yeah, Jada, I'm gonna start with you. What is your most anticipated series for you to watch, or what's the most anticipated series for you to watch, and yeah.
I think the most anticipated series I'm looking forward to is probably the one you just mentioned, the Orlando and Cleveland.
Mm.
I think that's a sleeper series because nobody has really talked about the Magic and what they've been doing this season. I don't know, like with Cleveland and with Donovan Mitchell and this Darius Garland team up, does Cleveland, you know, kind of make a deep playoff run? They had a short one. They had expectations of a deep one last season, but you know how they came up short against New York and everything. And I'm really interested in seeing how this Orlando Magic team fares, even though they're young and this is really like their first playoff experience in probably 5+ years. I'm excited to see what Paulo's going to do. Nobody really been talking about him this season
Yeah.
for real. And I mean, and so far he's kind of lived up to his hype. He came out top pick in the draft, and his second year he has Orlando in the playoffs. And it's not Orlando. He didn't get Orlando to the playoffs through a play in. They got their seed. Um, I'm excited to see how that goes, and I want to see if Cleveland, finally lives up to their hype because they don't got. I mean, unfortunately, they've been kind of, you know, um, um,
Up and down.
up and down, not consistent. Underwhelming in all matter. Like you have Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley, everything like that. You should be competing for a top 3 seed, in my opinion. But they've been kind of. Into their defense, Donovan he's been hurt, but
Mm.
I'm excited to see what that series, how's that going to play out?
Yeah. No, that's real. That's real. I think Paolo. I saw a stat where Paolo's the third number one overall pick to average 25-5, next to LeBron and Oscar Robertson. So I think when you talk about most improved, well, he was rookie of the year, but you could also give him a case for most improved player of the year this year as well, along with Dante DiVincenzo, who's had a stellar season in New York. Who else? Jalen Brunson. He really should be in MVP conversation, but yeah, go ahead, Dad.
Um, I'm, I'm, I'm glad the playoffs are here. I've been looking forward to this for a while. Honestly, every series is really quite intriguing in and of itself. There's a storyline with each one. Um, but I guess if I had to say my most anticipated one, I'm kind of interested to see. Probably, I'm going to say Minnesota and Phoenix.
Really?
You got a Minnesota team with Edwards and of course Cat is back. They were third in the West, so as a reward, they get to play Devin Booker and KD. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So tell you, man, this playoffs you're gonna have to really bring it. Um,
Yeah.
Phoenix is coming in really hot. They won, I think, 7 out of 10. They're playing really good. They've really been in playoff mode, so to speak. Um, Finishing up the regular season. So for me, that would be one. And then for me, obviously, I like the Knicks in Philadelphia. Embiid is back, and I think Philly's won like eight, 9 in a row. They're playing really good going into the playoffs. The Knicks will go as far as Jalen Brunson will take them. Like I said, it's playoff time now.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for and to piggyback off Jaden, I'm excited for Orlando and Cleveland. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what does Milwaukee do. I think Milwaukee's somewhat desperate. Milwaukee, their window, they brought in Lillard, and of course Giannis. Giannis is not going to play. I think their first round is tomorrow, or is it today? I'm not sure, but Indiana has a legitimate chance to knock Milwaukee out.
Yeah.
Um,
They do.
yeah. So all in all, man, these playoffs are going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm gonna get my little snacks and stuff together, man. They tip off at 1 o'clock today, and I'm
well,
really really excited about it.
No, that's facts. Because you talked about having your snacks, man. I got my almond raisin cookies. I got my fruit snacks. I ain't gonna lie. I got my body armor, 0 sugar. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. I'm prepared. I am prepared, and I am prepared. But it's I don't know. When you talk about the Knicks, we have to look at the fact that Philadelphia is not an ordinary number 7.
No,
Like
no,
the only reason why they are in the play and is because Joel Embiid was out for like 45% of the season.
yeah,
And
and he would have
before
been MVP too.
he would have probably been MVP again.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And not to mention Tyrese Maxey was playing stellar basketball. And I think this was great for Tyrese though, because like it showed him how to carry a team. I know he knows it's the NBA. You got to bring it every night. But like, I think this is good, like great experience for him so that when he gets older and older, should he be the face of the franchise and the leader of that team, for which I think,
you mean Maxey?
Maxey.
It's Embiid all day.
That's what I'm saying. So like, if he were to actually, you see a lot of these young players, like they request a trade because they want to be the face of the franchise and stuff like that. Like Kyrie, you saw it with Kyrie. When he left Cleveland, he wanted to be the face of a franchise. But Kyrie also had experience when Gordon Hayward went down and literally carrying a young team. Because at the same time, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they weren't the superstars that we know them to be now. Especially in 2018. So I hear exactly what you're saying. I hate how like some people are downplaying like Philly just because Joel Embiid is hobbled. And yeah, you want Joel Embiid to be 100% for matchup purposes, but in my opinion, Joel Embiid is one of those players where his presence really affects the game. And
Embiid at 80% is better than most dudes anyway.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like Embiid at 80, like the dude, like I don't, and I saw it, I saw it when they played Miami the other night, and I was like, dang, like he don't even look like he 100% for real, but he's still making key plays. Like
Right.
Nicholas, but like Nicholas Batum, even though Nicholas Batum was he stole a show and he stepped up in a mighty way, but like a lot of those passes that Tyrese got, you know, those shots that Tyrese got and Batum got, a lot of those came from Joel Embiid. Yeah. And I'm not saying he dropped a triple-double, but when you talk about somebody who's elevated his playmaking, Joel Embiid is one of those guys. So
Right.
I
think that's what makes Philadelphia so like scary, because it's like, okay, Embiid is probably not 100%, but he still can get his.
Yeah.
So on the defensive end, you have to actually like choose again, because for a little bit there, when Joel was out, he didn't have to choose anybody. Like, we were just gonna double down on Maxey and then let these other guys beat us, right? Well, now Embiid's back on the floor, so it's kind of like, all right, do we kind of shut down Embiid or slow him down? And it opens up
Maxey
having Maxey or Batum or Kelly Oubre dropping 20 on you. So it's like, all right, do we focus on everybody else, and then you let Embiid get his, you focus on everybody else, and let Embiid get his 35, 10, and 10. You know what I mean? So I think this is like the first time in a pretty decent amount of time that the playoffs 1 through 8 are like seedless.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's a good point.
Like how Dad just said, like, okay, yeah, Minnesota got the 3rd seed, but you're still playing Kevin Durant and Devin Booker.
And like, Bradley Beal.
Yeah, New York got the 2nd seed, or like the 3rd seed, whatever, and you got to play the 7th seed, Maxey and Embiid. You know what I mean? It's like there's no I got an easy first round matchup. Like, I'm Boston.
No.
Like, even Boston, like, I think a lot of pressure is on Boston because, okay, y'all won 66 games or like 65, something like that, and then you have to play in Miami. Okay, now granted,
no Jimmy Butler.
Butler's going to be out, but honestly, if it were anybody, if I were to pick any team to, like, okay, my star player is out, but we gonna get the job done, it's gonna be Miami.
Yeah.
That's what Miami has done last year, because they went to the finals without Tyler Hero, who was like a primary outside perimeter scorer, and he was an important perimeter scorer
and ball handler.
Exactly, and they still went to the finals. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I just think that if I'm Boston, I don't take Miami lightly. I don't take any team lightly. Because the last thing Boston needs is to win 60+ games, get a number 1 seed, and you lose
64.
Hey, Jaden, Dad, what did we talk about before we started recording? I told Dad, I was like, Dad, I ain't gonna lie. If there's any team with the most pressure to win, I know we talk about the Clippers, I know we talk about the Lakers, I know we talk about Denver repeating, but if there's any team with the most pressure, it is the Boston Celtics. Miami has nothing to lose, like, whatsoever. Now obviously, when free agency comes, you focus your attention on getting a star player, right? Like another like third star to pair with Jimmy and Bam, because I don't really think Terry Rozier, like, I don't really consider, I mean, he'll give you a nice whopping 13, 14, 15 a game, but like that can only get you but so far.
I think Tyler Hero's, I think they have a good 3, like a good 3 team, like with Tyler Hero, Butler, and Bam, when they're healthy. I think they need to go get a big like a defensive anchor, because all due respect, like, Bam, all-star caliber player, like he's really good for what he does, and at his size, at that, like, Bam, only like 9, but he's playing the 5.
Yeah.
I think he's a really good 4. He can play the 5, but I don't think you can match him up with like a 7-game series with like an Embiid or Porzingis or anything. Because at that point, it's just like, it's matchups. You're 6'9". I know you're gonna attack the boards, but when push comes to sub and I need the bucket, I can just go to my 7-footer in the paint, and I like my chances.
Right.
I think that's what Miami needs. I think Miami has good guard play. Like Terry Rozier, like he's still good. Like when he's healthy, he's still
Yeah,
good. Like Tyler Hero, when he's healthy, he's still good. Great. I like their bench. Their bench is dependable. I just think they need a big like that can kind of get some presence in the paint. Make you
yeah.
kind of think a little twice trying to go in the paint and everything. If I see six, and I'm in the NBA, like these NBA guards, they've been finishing against 6'9", 6'10", 6'11" bigs their whole life. Not whole life, but like competitive basketball. So it's like if I'm Tyrese Maxey or I'm anybody, I'm a guard. 6'9" are nothing to me. I know how to finish around you. But if you got someone like 7 foot that can kind of like kind of make you think a little bit, you know what I mean? But
Isaiah Hartenstein.
exactly like that. Like even if he's not a all-star big, he still kind
Yeah,
of has that size where you like your matchups against him. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But if you're
And I
Boston, though, you're Boston. What I'm looking for with Boston today, I need them to come off the bus and smack Miami.
smack him in the mouth, bruh.
That's
And that's not.
that's what I'm looking for Boston. If
And that's
Boston
not a.
comes out tight and they let Miami hang around, they let Miami steal a game. I'm telling you, their psyche is shot.
Yeah, and I'm scared of Boston. I'm scared that who's gonna show up? Because it's like,
Yeah.
am I gonna have just Tatum or am I gonna have Tatum and Brown? Am I just gonna have Brown or am I gonna have Brown and Porzingis? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my thing with Boston. Just playoff, consistency.
Yeah.
Everything.
And that's not a, and when we say smack Miami in the mouth, that's not a slight against Miami. That really just speaks to how good Miami really is. Like when their backs are against the wall and stuff like that, and people are counting them out. But like when you don't have your star in Jimmy Butler, like that was the situation that happened with Utah, or I'm sorry, Utah and Dallas 2 years ago. It was the first round. Luka was out, and you had this is when we start to see Jalen Brunson like really shift into overdrive for real. And then you have your contributions from Dorian Finney-Smith, Spencer Dinwiddie, Maxi Kleber still being beneficial. Was Porzingis? Yeah, I would say Porzingis, but yeah, I would say Kristaps Porzingis because he was on that. He was on was he? He was on Washington at the time. My apologies. I believe
he wasn't there yet.
He wasn't there. No, he may have just left. Yeah, but yeah, he may have just left. But regardless, like Utah had like a huge opportunity to knock out a team without a superstar in Luka, who was literally 90% at this point in time, who was 90% of their offense. And they failed to do that. So my point is this: with Boston, you don't have a Jimmy Butler. Now the attention in terms of the scoring for Miami, a lot of that burden falls onto Bam Adebayo. Yeah, and Tyler Hero in some regards, but Tyler Hero is more of like because they don't have like a true point guard. Tyler Hero has been their point guard, and Jimmy Butler in a way has been their facilitator also. So if I'm Boston, you have an opportunity to not only right a wrong from last year, where y'all should have won Game 7, but I personally think if Jason Tatum doesn't roll his ankle in Game 7 last year, I do believe I see Boston winning that game. But nonetheless, they didn't. They didn't. But at the same time, with Boston, you have an opportunity. It's not an opportunity because you never want to you never wish anything bad happened to your star player. Jimmy Butler is the playoffs. That's the only reason why we're talking about Miami right now. It's because of Jimmy Butler. Like Jimmy Butler has always great contributions from Bam, great contributions from Tyler, Duncan Robinson. But at the same time, let's keep it 100. Jimmy Butler is the reason why Miami. Yes, I think so. Jimmy Butler is the reason. Jimmy Butler is the reason why Miami has been. Okay, Jaden.
No, because don't get me wrong, is Jimmy Butler a star player? Yes, but it's not like he's been dropping 40 a night now. Like let's not get it twisted. Like
maybe in the regular season he hasn't. Maybe in the regular season he hasn't. But in the playoffs he don't got. He doesn't have to drop 40. He didn't have to drop 40. But you can see. No, he really did it. If you honestly.
You're just saying like it's like you're making it seem like nobody else on that team is like good. It's like,
I'm not saying that.
It's like
I'm not saying that.
True. My thing is this. I'm more comfortable with Miami now because Tyler Hero is playing and he's healthy. You still have a perimeter threat now, rather than last year where your really perimeter threat was Caleb Martin.
No, it was Gabe Vincent. / Caleb Martin. So yes.
Gabe Vincent, he ain't do nothing in the finals.
But we're talking. But we're talking. But we're talking.
Boston series, that conference finals, that was it.
They did, and in the first round. What are you talking about when they played Milwaukee?
They were non-existent in the finals when it mattered the most.
Yes.
I'm just saying that, like I said earlier, okay, yeah, Jimmy Butler's not playing, but it's Miami. I feel like when the job needs to get done, like they're gonna go out there and do their jobs. Now,
Eric Spoelstra.
They're going to play their best. Like they're going to find a way to compete against you. It's not like, oh my God, we don't have Jimmy. Let's just go out there and do what we can.
Right.
I'm not saying that.
I'm telling you, I don't know what's gonna happen, but Eric Spoelstra and them and crew, they gonna find a way. They're gonna find a weakness to exploit it. They're gonna come out and like, all right, bro, we gonna get one.
That's why I'm looking for Boston to come out and really
in Boston, I can't say that if I'm Boston, I don't want them to like, okay, Jimmy Butler's not playing. Listen.
You know what
I mean?
I agree with everything that you're saying, but where I'm coming from is this: nobody, in my experience, and we know Tyler Hero's gonna get his, Bam is gonna get theirs, but when we see Tyler Hero and Bam play elite basketball, which is the playoffs, they play better when they have Jimmy and all of that. And the only reason why I'm excusing 2022 or 2021 when they got swept by Milwaukee was because they had to make a quick turnaround because they were literally the runner-up to the Los Angeles Lakers in the bubble. But when you see Tyler Hero, and I'm not saying that they're not good. I'm not saying that. They're great basketball players. Their contracts have a lot to show for it. Tyler Hero's a 6th man of the year. Bam Adebayo, I mean, he's an all-star. Like, he's one of the top bigs in the Eastern Conference, in the NBA. But at the same time, we only see them play. I've seen them play a truly elite basketball when Jimmy is on the floor.
Yeah,
and this
is to me, it's not more about Miami as opposed to Boston.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not.
To your point, yes, Jimmy Butler. Obviously playoff time. He's Jimmy buckets. Okay, I get it. But the fact that he's not there, but Tyler Hero is, as a ball handler, a facilitator, Miami is formidable.
Yeah.
Right? So
I agree.
This is more about Boston's mindset and the pressure that is on them to come out and play well. And I'm going to tell you, they don't come out and play well. The last team you really want to not play well against is this Miami team, even without Jimmy Butler.
I agree. I'm not. Hold on, Jaden. I'm not disagreeing with that, but at the same time, Jaden brought it up. I think Jaden brought it up a few minutes ago when they made it to the finals without Tyler Hero. But we're in this particular case, we're gonna see them try to beat a Boston Celtics, advance in the playoffs without Jimmy Butler. And this is the first time. Where their superstar Jimmy Butler is out, and we're having to see the load officially carry, regardless of their presence. And I think when you talk about Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin, yeah, they didn't do a whole lot, but they had Jimmy Butler. They had Jimmy Butler. But now we're really starting to see a Miami Heat team without, like, who I think can beat Boston. Do I think they will? Probably. It's kind of hard for me to sit here and say yes, but they can beat Boston. But at the same time, there is no Jimmy Butler. So now you have a guy named Tyler Hero, who has never really been, at this point, that motor that you need to be successful. But now he is. Well, go ahead.
But here's the thing. I think this is like even extra motivation for him, because now he's
okay, yes,
all right. I know, because now without Jimmy, and the reason why Jimmy, when he's on the floor, he kind of elevates everybody else is because he's Jimmy Butler. Like, the defense is going to kind of like pay attention to him.
Collapse on the Jimmy Butler, yes.
Which allows Tyler to kind of play off ball and kind of find his open spots and everything, catch and shoot situations. Right, he don't really have to be the primary ball handler, but I do think that okay, now Jimmy's gone. One, Eric Spoelstra is going to have the whole team ready to play. Like he's going to have the whole team. Like, hey, I'm gonna call on you. I'm gonna try to be ready. Like that's why Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin they did what they did last year. That's why they were such a catapult for them. But I do think now that Jimmy Butler's not playing, we are going to see a more aggressive Tyler Hero. Because
Okay.
honestly, I feel that Tyler Hero is more of a like I can score for you. Like I can get buckets for real. But my
Yeah.
role with Jimmy on the floor is I know the defense is going to pay attention to him more, so I can really. My situation is going to be on catch and shoot or his drive and kick out, and I'm ready to shoot it. You know what I mean? Don't forget Tyler Hero at Kentucky. That was a bucket getter. Like he was a bucket getter. Like he didn't really come off the ball too much.
I agree.
He was like primary ball handler
Yeah,
and
I know.
get into a spot and creating his own shot. I do think that's Tyler Hero's game, which I do think that's going to help Miami kind of a little bit more in this Boston series. But I think Boston ultimately is gonna win it. That depending on if Jimmy Butler doesn't come back this series.
He
Um,
won't.
but yeah, I don't know. But we'll just see what happens.
But didn't they is Terry Rozier, is he out for this series?
I don't
That's a
think he's
good
out for the
question.
series. I don't think he's out for the series.
I don't.
I know he's been out this last stretch of games though. I
You
don't.
got Rozier. You still
If
have
Rozier comes
Duncan
back,
Robinson. I like
yeah,
Jaquez. I mean he
I guess.
yeah.
I like his
These are
game.
Tell me,
guys
nobody will
now
talk about it. They
that
got
was
it.
set up. Miami. I think Miami. True enough, we beat the dead horse about Jimmy being he's their guy, obviously.
Yeah.
But if Boston doesn't come to play, Miami has more than enough
to beat them.
To beat them.
Sure, I agree.
Miami has more than enough to beat them.
The only thing I will disagree on you when you talk about everything. They don't have that true presence in the interior, like the paint, like their big man and stuff like that. Like, cause you're a literal only big man. Like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of times Miami has played a lot of. I mean, they have Haywood Highsmith, but he's not a big man. He's a forward. Then Bam is listed as a center, but I don't think he's a true big man. I personally think
he. I mean, you're going against Porzingis. It's not like you're going against Embiid.
But Porzingis
does not act like Porzingis.
But Porzingis is 7'3", Dad.
Dad, you have to realize, this is probably the best basketball that Porzingis has been playing.
That's Porzingis been hooping that
since he left like New York. Because
I know
a lot of Knicks fans are like, where was this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know the Knicks fans are saying that. I know Washington is saying that. I sure know Dallas is saying
that. Dallas saying that.
Yeah. But we had you and Luka at the same time. And Brunson.
Yeah.
We had Brunson and Luka at the same time. What was this?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, he's 7'3", but he can do it. He can score all levels, you know?
Okay. Okay.
All four levels.
Boston's defense last year, they didn't have that. They had Al Horford at the 5. You know?
And Horford all
and Bam, exactly.
Yeah.
I want Bam, and I like my chances with Bam against Al Horford. Now they got Porzingis now, which is why I think Boston's so much better, you know?
So much lethal.
But
exactly. That's why Boston needs to come out and make a statement.
Yeah.
Boston needs to come out and let everybody know, hey, we're here, we're focused, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
They come out and slog around. Oh, I'm telling you. Miami steals one. They go back to Miami. I'm telling you. It's gonna be different.
Yeah. And that's another thing. Don't please and with Philly, and it's the same thing with Philly. And I'm seeing this. And I really can't speak. I can't speak on it with Orlando and Cleveland because this is Orlando's first time being in the playoffs since
I think for them it's kind of like
since 2020 since the bubble. So like, but with Philly and I know, and this is and Jaden said like this is probably the first time where this is seedless. This is a seedless playoffs. Miami is not no ordinary number 8, bro.
Yeah.
Philly is not an ordinary, despite their shortcomings. Philly is not an ordinary number 7.
Right.
Please, New York, do not let Philly steal one game at the Garden at Times Square.
They can do that.
And they can do it. They can do it for real. And I know all the hype is on the Knicks, but now this conversation would be a lot different if Julius Randle was playing. I think this was probably the year for the Knicks to actually go to the conference finals, especially with Milwaukee's and what they got going on. And personally, this is just me. I don't think Dame is happy. I don't think he's happy in Milwaukee.
Giannis is really hurt.
I think Giannis is hurt for real. And on top of that, you playing the Indiana Pacers team that's had your number all. It's like they've had your number all season long.
And the thing is, Milwaukee don't play no defense.
They don't play.
Indiana just walk right in there and drop like they did the Hawks and average 120, 130.
120. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. Indiana can light it up. I'm telling you.
Indiana,
they don't fear Milwaukee at all.
Indiana does not.
They beat Indiana. Well, Indiana beat them 3 out of 4.
Yeah, and
with Giannis.
I think the
answer Dame.
I think the answer to that series is who plays defense. Because now, granted, Indiana can light it up, but they can't play too much defense.
They can't play no defense.
But I think it comes down to defense. This series, this matchup, hey, who plays defense? That's the key.
But I'm here to tell you, if Milwaukee doesn't have Giannis, it won't matter.
It won't matter.
More than enough to
it won't matter. It will not matter. But
you gotta have, and I don't think Milwaukee's in that position. I mean, obviously, next man up mentality. I think we're gonna see a lot more of obviously Bobby Portis, and we know, and honestly, he's been a great six man. Like I love Bobby Portis. Like he's a fan favorite, and he's also been great in terms of scoring. Like he's a great body. But
to be honest on there.
But I agree. I think and then Giannis has elevated his play as a playmaker and a facilitator at the same time. So, Giannis
with Giannis on the floor, it makes Dame's job easier.
It makes his job easier. It does. It really does.
I know they're gonna collapse on them, so let me just get over here. He's gonna kick it out. I can get up to 3. Now with Giannis not there, it's oh my gosh, now who am I gonna pass the ball to? I know they're gonna focus on me now.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I'm just interested on that. Like with the West, with those matchups over there, man. Like even OKC New Orleans, like that's going to be interesting. With Brandon Ingram, how he came off that playing, which I think is probably a blessing in disguise for New Orleans, dude. Like they've already been playing playoff basketball, right?
Yeah.
These past 4 days?
4 days, yeah.
And they probably and honestly they should have beaten the Lakers if Zion doesn't get hurt.
Yeah,
But like OKC New Orleans is going to be like
that's going to be a great matchup.
I want to see how OKC comes out with that.
They're young. They're the one. They're the one in the West.
OKC, the Oklahoma City Thunder are number 1 in the West.
OKC number 1, dude. They won.
This is their first time. This is the first time OKC's been number 1 since 2013.
Yeah,
2013 or 14.
I mean,
it's been.
We just saw like a brick by brick rebuild in like OKC, like before our eyes. Like
listen. This is why Sam Presti, even though when he traded for Paul George, when he traded Paul George for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and you got all those picks, bro. Sam Presti really won that.
They hit on every single one. That's the crazy part for me.
Yes,
they hit on every single one.
Yeah,
like every single one of those picks are like now productive in big parts in that team.
They still what 4 or 5?
They still got 4 or 5 more picks. Oh my god,
that's the crazy thing. They got change left over.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
All of them for this team. No, they got this and then some that haven't been touched yet.
But the thing is with OKC though, like, and this is why I think, and I know. Uncle Shannon Sharp said that OKC is the weakest number 1 that the Western Conference has ever seen. It's kind of hard to say that, to make that declaration when this entire roster hasn't played in the playoffs yet. But when you think about the team that is constructed, I know Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the point guard. He's listed as the point guard. But what makes it so dope between him and Josh Giddey and Jalen Williams is that they complement each other so well. If Shai can play off the ball, the man is leading the league in steals. Like, the dude can play off the ball. Jalen Williams can play off the ball. And if they're both having a great night offensively, hey, Josh Giddey, give me the rock. I'm a great passer. I'm a great facilitator. I'll give you it. Not to mention Chet Holmgren. Chet
You
Holmgren
didn't
is,
mention him. Yeah.
bruh, Chet Holmgren is just a bucket. He's a bucket. And I know Wemby's going to win Rookie of the Year.
Absolutely.
But Chet, oh
Yeah.
my God.
And I don't
Chet.
I don't think this is not the weakest number one.
No.
Out because it's like
No.
1 through 8, like I said, 1 through 8, all of them are great teams.
It's seedless.
All of them are great teams.
Yeah.
Like,
seedless.
You know what I mean? It's like it used to be where you're number 1 and you playing somebody like Utah. Number 8 is okay, we got Utah. But nah, this is like no, you have New Orleans. You know,
New Orleans.
You have Phoenix.
Hey.
You have Phoenix. You have the Lakers.
Yeah.
I'm not really following the Lakers too much. I think Denver going to win that series anyway. But
yeah, their matchup with Denver is crazy. Yeah, I think Denver. I think they roll the Lakers.
Hey, listen.
They gonna roll the Lakers.
Now I'm not gonna lie. I think it was Tim Legler. He was talking about if somehow, some way, LeBron at 39, beats Denver and he wins another chip. That conversation with
him being better than Jordan.
I didn't say better. I just said the conversation would be more of a conversation. Cause
but it's always going to be a conversation like that. Like, here's the thing.
It's like more of a closer conversation because it's like dude was 30. He was 39. He's 39.
Yep.
He beat the defending champions, then beat probably another good West team, and then another great West team in the Western Conference Finals, and then beats probably a Boston in the finals. And you win another. And you win. That'll be his 5th one. Yeah, he won another one at 39. Like when Jordan was playing at 39, he was on the Wizards. I mean, ain't nobody really talking about that Jordan. You know what I mean?
Let me keep it 100.
You know what I mean? Like let's that's not something to.
Let me be real with you. So the winner of the Nuggets and the Lakers will play the winner of the Suns and the Timberwolves.
No.
Yeah, huh?
Oh yeah, Denver's the 2. That's right. You're right.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Denver's the 2 seed. Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like and this is where Minnesota comes into play. If the Lakers were to somehow beat Denver and they play Minnesota, who in my personal opinion, I think they will beat the Phoenix Suns just because of your offense, because of your defense, and on top of that, and your bench. Phoenix don't got no bench.
Yeah.
Who's gonna guard Naz Reid? Who was probably the 6th man of the year?
Yeah.
Who's gonna guard him?
Memphis is deeper and they play better. I think they actually have the best defense.
Minnesota. You said Memphis, but Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota has the best defense in the league.
Yeah.
And so you mean to tell me do I see the Lakers beating this Minnesota Timberwolves team in the event that the Lakers were to beat the Nuggets? No, I do not. I do not. And I'm gonna be so real with you. That's not to say that the Lakers can't, but like I said, I think the X factor in this Lakers and Nuggets series is Michael Porter Jr., especially for the Nuggets.
You I was thinking about that. You are spot, and actually, this is you're wrong, but I'm like, wow, Cam, you're seeing the light. I agree. 200%.
Thank you, Dad. It's Michael Porter Jr.
is going to be the key to this series. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's Michael Porter Jr. And listen, man, the Nuggets oftentimes during the season, they looked extremely vulnerable and beatable. I mean, last year it was probably a different conversation, but this year, I mean, obviously Joker. I mean, the dude he's Joker. Jamal Murray, he's been in and out of the lineup, but he's still gotten his. But with Michael Porter Jr. and in the most respectful way possible with the Lakers, Michael Porter Jr. in a way has always, for whatever reason, has always played great games against the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, the dude has averaged like 23 and a half a game. Man's shooting like 50% from the field. I mean, the dude, he's 6'10", bro. Take it to the hoop.
And the crazy thing is, he would be so much better if he had those back problems.
If he didn't have those back problems, that's what I'm saying.
Those back surgeries, I think that has limited him in so many ways. But he's still such a good player.
He's such a great player, bro. Oh my God!
Like you just said, he's 6'10". If he didn't have back surgeries, man.
And I think too, just with the stuff that's going on off the court with his family.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think now the basketball court will be a sanctuary for him.
For him.
And I
Yeah.
think this will be a situation where, dude, just to get away from what was going on with his brothers to now be able to ball, dude, I think he would.
Yeah.
We can see the best basketball he's ever played.
It could either be that. It could either be a sanctuary and we see like an emergence from him, or it can be a distraction. Like so much stuff is
Yeah,
going on. I'm not focused on. I can't.
yeah,
Performance. You know.
that's true.
I think a lot of times, like, you know, a lot of people will probably joke about it, and you know, and I'll be real, like it just caught me off guard, and I'm just like, dang, bro, both your brothers, like, you know what I mean? And so, but I think a lot of times this is where grace comes in. You know, he's a human, man. These are his brothers. Like,
Yeah,
these are his like the people. I mean, Grant, you know, fortunately, he's gonna have one. Like, he'll be able to, you know, come into close proximity with one of them, but the other one, I mean, you know, it's he's in prison, you know, and so
And it's okay. He did a big no by
Yeah.
betting and gambling on effectively on like the games he had, you know, power over, like his performance in games. This big
Yeah.
no. But it's not like, all right, guys, like it was just gambling, it was betting. He did what he did. The punishment is out. There's nothing we can change about it now. But it's not like his brother killed somebody. It's not like his
Right.
brother was killed.
but
Like
his other brother did.
but his other brother did kill someone drinking and driving though. Like,
he killed somebody.
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we got, you know,
Going
but
to
at the
prison,
same,
dude.
yeah,
Rightfully
man.
so.
yeah.
Not like nonetheless, nevertheless, I think, you know, we just gotta, you know, have grace and just, you know, keep him lifted up, because we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, man. And
Yeah.
I'm not finna sit here and make a spectacle out of it. Like, oh my God, like both your brothers, like, bro, come on, like, nah, like this is, I think but it did catch me off guard, and I joked about it. I joked about it with Sierra a little bit, but you know, I kind of, I didn't feel bad about it, but like when it starts to resonate with you, it's like, dang, like this could have been my brother, like this could have been Jaden for real.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
so it really, like, all that stuff, like it could go leave the door for real. But no, I think in terms of basketball, I think Michael Porter Jr., you know, all the stuff aside, like he is the X factor. You know, like, and he's all, and in my personal opinion, and majority of the series they played, when it comes to like great teams against great teams, Michael Porter Jr. has always been the X factor. Like, there's nothing new. But I think if you want to repeat in a conference where there's really no clear-cut favorite at all, and that was the case last year, but I could kind of like make a pretty cool prediction that Denver was going to win it by the time the second round rolled around last year. But yeah, this is Michael Porter. Yeah, he is the X factor. And on top of that, Aaron Gordon, I would like to see some contributions from him.
We're not talking about KCP.
But KCP gonna get his though. Like, that's the thing.
I mean,
he's a great 3 and he's a great 3 and D player. Like, dude is great.
Denver,
Wing, dude is great.
Oh my God, Denver could easily win it again.
Exactly. That's the thing. And that's why I really want to, but I feel like we can confidently say that based off of how they how they beat Miami last year. Now, if they played Boston, I would have appreciated that matchup more if Denver played Boston, because you not only have equal superstars, you not only have the equal star power, you not only have the equal firepower on offense, but you also have equal benches and you have equal defense.
Yeah. Boston was just a better team that lost. That was unfortunate, you know.
Yeah.
No, I agree. But yeah, onto our last topic, because we have about 15 minutes left. Onto our last topic. One of the most anticipated series, probably in the entire first round. Clippers and Mavericks.
That's your anticipated series.
Huh?
That's your most anticipated series.
No, I think when you ask, stop.
We talked about New York and Philly. We talked about who else we talked about? Cleveland and Orlando.
But look,
playoffs. Clippers.
Hey,
Clippers fans picking the Clippers in the Mavericks series.
Nah. But look. I know it could seem as though this is my most anticipated series, but But in all honesty, though, like I want to make this known. This is the third time in five seasons that the Clippers and Mavericks have matched up. 2 of those times, Luka had no star power help. Now, if Mark Cuban would have extended Jalen Brunson like he should have, then we could be having a different conversation. But the last 2, it was just Luka versus Kawhi and Paul George. Now it's Luka and Kyrie versus Kawhi, PG, and Harden.
Listen, man.
Now before you say something, Jaden, I want to make this known. I'm scared, man. I have anxiety about this every day. I really do. And not from the fact that the Clippers could potentially lose this, but really but because Dallas could win this. And every playoff series that the Clippers have been a part of, they were always the favorite. Like they were always the favorite. They were favorite last year to beat Phoenix. They were favorite the year before they were in the play-in. Kawhi was out, all that. PG was out. But the year before that, in 2021, they were also the favorite. The Mavericks are actually favorite to beat the Clippers. Rightfully so. Now, Kawhi Leonard has been out. He missed the last 8 games of the regular season due to right knee inflammation in his surgically repaired knee, for which he tore his ACL and meniscus. The Dallas Mavericks, you can make a legitimate case, that they won the trade deadline with the additions of PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford. And Jaden, we talked about this last weekend, I want to say. We talked about this last weekend. A lot of their games, but first of all, before we get into that, Dallas has won 16 of their last 20 games. 16 of the last 20 games of the regular season. They've been playing some of the best basketball. Luka has been playing. This is arguably, like, in terms of a team effort, this is probably the Dallas Mavericks' best stretch in the history of Luka, like in the Luka era, period. But their games that they've won, their opponents didn't, like Dallas, before Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington got there, Dallas would win, but their opponents would drop 130 points, 120 points, 125. We've seen an exponential decrease in their opponents' points per game since the addition of PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford. I remember it was 2016, 2017. Yeah, 2016. Dante Exum has been hooping. I remember when he first got drafted, and because he's from Australia, I was like, oh yeah, he got drafted to Utah. I was like, wow, he's gonna be pretty good. But he's been in and out of the league, playing overseas. To see his career resurrect in a way that it has, and to see the contributions from Josh Green, who, by the way, even though he's still young, I think he's going to be very, very good in this league as well. He's a great role player right now, but I think he's going to be a great cornerstone for somebody's franchise very soon. There's just no way, despite all of that, I still think Luka Doncic should be in the talk for MVP conversation. Now, it's very easy to say, you don't think so, Dad?
I mean, okay, you can say Luka's in the conversation. I mean, I have my own opinion, but okay, go ahead. I didn't mean to. I just my head. Not that he shouldn't be in the conversation. I was shaking my head as to say that if I had a vote, I would not vote for him. No.
Okay, I get it. I mean, I guess, but I think at the same time though,
and if I'm voting for MVP this year, I mean, it just depends. Now we'll get into. We only got so much time, so we'll get to a whole different argument,
a whole different conversation.
That's another conversation. I'll just continue.
But at the same time though, Dallas is playing very good basketball, and if they beat the Clippers, because they would play the winner of the Oklahoma City Thunder and Pelicans. If they beat the Clippers, oh my God, we could potentially see the Dallas Mavericks in the conference finals again for the second time in 4 seasons. No, 3 seasons, because they were in 2022. They weren't in it last year. They didn't even make the play-in last year, and they could be in it this year. And honestly, Jason Kidd is such a great coach. I mean, I think, and y'all can chime in on this as well. But when Kyrie got traded to the Mavericks, the first game Kyrie played in a Mavericks uniform was against the Clippers. And even though it took some time for Luka and Kyrie to gel, they didn't make it to the play-in. But at the same time, now we're seeing dude, like they literally won 16 out of the last 20 games of the regular season.
Yeah, they play defense. They're playing defense now, and I think that's been the problem for Dallas these 5 seasons while they haven't really been able to make a run.
No defense.
When you're in the playoffs, it comes down. Okay, you have this star, you have that star, right? But it comes down to who's playing defense.
Yeah,
you know, in Dallas for a long time, they had horrid defense.
Yeah,
and in my opinion, the team after Boston with the most pressure to win is the Clippers.
It is the Clippers, and guess what? They're not going to win. They're not going to win.
This is it. I think for me personally, this is it for the Clippers.
We got to blow it up because this is like
George and Kawhi.
They're only getting older.
Yeah, they're gonna get older. I think this is their opportunity.
You have to get some. If I'm Clippers, you got to get some picks. You gotta because they've been together for what 5 years, 4.
Yeah. Some like July 24. Yeah, July 2024 would be 5 years since the signing of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George.
It's been 5 years, and y'all made it to the second round. How many times?
Once.
Yeah.
No conference finals appearances.
No. I'm sorry. Twice.
Because
we made it because we were in the bubble, and then we made it to 2021.
You went to the semis, right, or the conference finals that
year? So in 2020 in the bubble, when we lost the 3-1 lead to Denver, that was in the semifinals. Yeah. And then in 2021, we beat Utah in the semifinals.
It was the conference finals,
and we went to the conference finals
against Phoenix. Yeah, that's right. But I mean, Paul George and Kawhi only getting older. James Harden's only getting older. Westbrook's only getting older. You gotta start bringing some young talent in there, man. And I'm not saying it. It depends on what type of Clippers team shows up. Yeah. Like if it's the Clippers team, like before the All-Star break, or like that little stretch they had where they're playing great defense on the defensive side of the ball, and they can score when they want to, what they want to on the offensive side of the ball. That Clippers team is scary, Yeah. But lately, I mean, I haven't really been sold on the Clippers and what they've been putting out. But now Dallas is scary because it's like we have Luka and Kyrie, and we can get what we want, but at the same time, we can play defense and we can stop too. You know what I mean?
That is true. That's why I've been having so much anxiety about it. Like I don't know that. I don't know if you've ever. Like, I don't know. Well, thanks. That's probably not what I wanted to hear. But like, if you honestly think about it, like, I don't know if either of you ever felt this, but it's like I said, like, I've never, like, me having anxiety, it's not really so much for the Clippers. It's really like a lot for like Dallas and how potentially good they can be in the playoffs, because whoever they come into contact with, they're going to be a problem. Right. Like
you can say that for every team on East and West.
Yeah.
Like you can say that. Okay, I pretty much outside of probably like Miami right now because he's without Jimmy Butler. But
I really wasn't even saying. I wouldn't even think of Miami. I was thinking more like Orlando or something like that.
But see, Orlando. But see, that's what I'm trying to say. Don't sleep.
I'm not sleeping on Orlando.
My thing with Orlando is obviously they haven't really been here with this squad, and they're young. Okay, yeah. But at the end of the day, you gotta lace them up and hoop. You know what I mean? I like I said last week when you were here. Like I understand the youthfulness plays a part. You know, the experience plays a part, right? But it's like, okay, yeah, all that is true. Would I rather choose a seasoned vet in the playoffs, or would I want a rookie or a second year? I would want a vet, right? Because he's been there, he's been through it, right? But at the end of the day, it's all right, man. You know,
kickball in the basket, right?
Exactly. It's 48 minutes. 48 minutes. Who wants it more? That's pretty much it. And that's why, like I said last week, like that's why I think OKC is scary, because it's like they're young, which is like, okay, they're young. Like we got all the energy in the world. And
but that's dangerous.
Like, no pressure.
Like defense too.
No pressure, man.
We got a rim protector, and we got Shea, who leads the league in steals. And he's a 6'6" guard. Like nobody talks about that.
He's 6'6". Oh God, I forgot about that. He is 6'6".
He's a 6'6" point guard. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
He is
6'6".
6'6".
He can play 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah.
But he playing. You lucky. I mean, he playing a point guard. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's a mismatch for a lot of folks right now.
Yeah.
He is 6'6". That's crazy.
But yeah, Clippers though, like I mean, they gotta get together. I mean, and it's kind of, and you kind of have a little bit of hope because he knows Ty Lue. You know, I feel like he's gonna have his guys ready, you know, and everything like that. But if I'm the Clippers, man, this ain't the old Dallas where we can just dice them up.
This is
You know,
it, man.
we let Luka get his,
This is
but
it
just
for the Clippers, man.
we can dice
This
them
is it.
up. Exactly, they got PJ Washington and Gafford. You
Yeah.
know, and I'm happy they got him too because PJ Washington, he didn't need to be in Charlotte no more. He was too good for them. Gafford, that was a good pickup from Washington. Washington, they just blowed everything up. They need to
Yeah.
go to the team. I ain't gonna lie to you, but
Yeah.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see a team leave DC. I think DC needs a team. I think DC always needs a team. But
Yeah, DC needs a team.
But they better start winning because they talking about it. Washington. I don't know.
Yeah.
They need to rebuild. I don't know.
Hey, I seen Kyle Kuzma post. He was like, at this point, because he was referring to Detroit when Detroit was on that team, was on that losing streak, and Kyle Kuzma was like, at this point, don't be that team that loses to Detroit.
And
At this point, now that karma, hey man, karma real. Like he was like, it's like now, it's like, all right, we don't need to be that team that loses to you. Like, but and Kyle Kuzma, he's not a bad player. It's just like Washington is just trash.
They just don't
suck.
Just
They're really bad.
Jordan Poole, after he got punched, he just went downhill.
Man, the fall off
of
Jordan Poole needs to be studied, man.
It was crazy.
All he does is get paid. He got a big
But
contract.
if you're gonna study Jordan Poole, you got to study Draymond Green too. Because in my opinion, I think like the Warriors didn't even need to be in the plan. I feel like they were in the plan because of Draymond. Like a lot of those games that the Warriors missed, Draymond literally was not playing those games. And I feel like we're really starting to see like now like Draymond, and I've always saw it like, and Draymond's a very integral part of that team. You need Draymond, whether it like outside of him being injured, if he's out of the game for some bull jive, like what he did to Nurkic and what he did to Rudy Gobert and Jordan Poole, man, look, come on, bro. And then you get kicked out of the game for talking nonsense to the ref. Now, Draymond, you know your track record. You know your track record. I get it. And it's basketball, emotions are high, and I empathize with that. But you're in the hunt for a top 6 seed. You don't want to be in the playing a 46-36 Sacramento Kings squad.
But here's the thing: even if Draymond played or didn't play, like, does it help the Warriors' chances if Draymond does play? Yes, of course it does. But at the same time, I still don't think the Warriors still would have beaten Sacramento or beaten whoever
I think so.
played the first time. Because
I think so.
No, because
I think so.
we gotta keep it a buck, man. I know we wanna say Golden State is good because like they have this dynasty and still Steph Curry and Clay. Honestly, Clay is done. Clay had 0 points.
Yeah.
It's not like they lost. It could be one. I can understand if they lost and Clay gave Golden State like 15, like 20 or something like that. The man had 0.
He made no shots.
Made
0 for 10.
This is the same guy that scored 60 points and 12 dribbles.
Yeah.
This man had 0 points in almost 26 minutes.
Yep.
Something like that.
Okay. When we talk about Clay, okay, I agree with everything you're saying. My point is simply
Draymond too. Like my thing with Draymond, and I feel like Steph, it feels the same way. It's like, bro, like, what are you doing? We need you. Why? And honestly, after all these ejections, you know, he punched Jordan Poole, right? I mean, he punched. He ain't slapping me. I mean, he punched him in the jaw.
Dad.
He punched him in the jaw. Like,
I think he punched him too. I ain't gonna lie.
He had a lunge and a punch. He has some force behind it, right?
Yeah.
I think he's overstayed. You know, his welcome in Golden State, which I feel like Golden State probably should have moved on with him sooner.
Who?
Draymond.
I agree. I think the only reason why Golden State re-signed Draymond was in hopes of competing for a 5th and final championship.
I mean,
in this era.
And like what Steve Kerr was saying in his press conference, like I think they wanted you know, a storybook ending to that dynasty.
They ain't gonna get it.
But he said let me finish. Like what he finished his quote was saying like it rarely is a storybook. I mean, he brought up how the Bulls ended. You know, like the Bulls the players thought they can win so many more chips, right? But they blew it up. I mean, they blew it up after the second three-peat.
Right.
Like
Gary Krause.
that's what I'm saying. All the dynasties, everything like that. But I think Golden State needs to change the chapter. I think that's what they will do. I think Clay will be gone. I think Draymond will be gone. My thing is, does Steph, does he stick around? You know, like does he think? Because honestly, Steph at this age, he's still older, but he's still playing. He's still playing all NBA ball.
But he's still playing at a high level. Yeah,
he's still playing at a high level. Does he decide to go somewhere? And honestly, I think if he does come to Golden State, like, hey, I think it's time for me to, you know, have a new chapter, go somewhere else. I think Golden State would. They would. I would hope they would honor that. You know, after what he did to that, after how much he's done for that organization and everything. You know, I think Golden State is just you hate what comes up, what goes up must come down. I think Golden State's in that type of period right now.
You think Clay leaves? You think Clay leaves at the in free agency?
Clay's definitely gone.
Okay.
But the organization reached out to him and said, "Hey, I think they want him back."
They want him
back. but we've seen
they gave him the vote of confidence. Like, we know you had a bad game and a must-win situation.
But Dad, but
at some point, as the organization,
you got to come to terms, man.
You have to start developing and bringing up your younger guys.
I agree.
And honestly, Golden State hasn't been good doing that. Like now, Kuminga, okay, he's kind of showed some improvement.
But you got Moses Moody. You got
he's gonna be gone.
You got Brandon Podjemski. I mean, and
I like what I've seen from him.
I like him. I like him. Yeah,
I like what I've seen from him. You know what I mean? But
Trace Jackson, whatever his name is.
Those two guys. I mean, but
what do you do though? You're Golden State. What do you do? What are you going to get in return?
At some point,
you're just not going to let Clay walk for anything.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You got to trade him or something. But that's what I'm trying to say. At some point, as an organization, you have to be real. Like, would it be nice to have Clay back? Yes. But what does this do for us in the long run? They're all 30 plus. And honestly, and I hate
Curry's
to say
36. Curry is 36. Clay is...
It's like 34.
Clay is 34.
Clay's 34. Draymond 34, something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But see,
unfortunately, Steph is 36. But I don't have to worry about Steph.
But
I know Steph is going to show up.
Yeah, but
if Clay was putting up some type of numbers, I'm not saying he had to put up Curry numbers, but something you can compare it to Curry numbers, and he want to come back. Oh, hey, come back. But when your last game of the season that determines if you go to the playoffs or not,
a must-win situation,
a must-win, and you give me 0.
Hold on, listen.
I understand. Hold on. I understand, Clay. We are grateful for what you've done to this organization, right? We're thankful for the championship you helped bring to Golden State. But unfortunately, we're gonna have to, and it's nothing personal. Some things just come to an end. That I feel like people think that if Clay leaves or Draymond leaves, it's like something personal. Oh, you gave us 0 points, so we're gonna trade you. No, I just think it's just time. It's just time, and I feel like Golden State. It's just time to break it up. It's just time.
You got to move on.
That's just how it is. I can't, in money wise, it's like I can't keep putting money into you, investing in you, right? If forcing something to work and it's not working, you know what? As an organization, you don't want to be losing money, and then 2, it's just not working, man.
You got to get younger. Golden State has to get younger.
They have to get younger. That's been the problem.
And now,
that's been the problem this season.
And now,
the problem last season.
Yeah. And now, and this is the last point I'll make. And now and I agree with all of you. I think Golden State they have to get younger and develop your players that you drafted for a reason. Now, in saying all of that,
missing on Wiseman hurt them. Go ahead.
Yeah, that hurt them. That put him back.
They missed on Wiseman.
That put him back. Yeah. And how good that class was. You had the number 2 overall pick in Wiseman.
Yeah.
And you missed on Wiseman. You missed on a pick that high.
Can you imagine
that would set you back?
Can you imagine Anthony Edwards in Golden State?
Take him?
Can you imagine Anthony Edwards in Golden State at number 2?
I could.
At the number 2, if they would have put him at number 2, this conversation wouldn't be happening because it's like,
I could.
Matter of fact, y'all could still be competing.
Yeah. Or LaMelo.
Y'all can still be competing. Like LaMelo, he just needs to change his shoes. Like his ankles, man. Like, I go like. Yeah, I forgot what number Kobe's there was, but remember how Kobe had them high.
Yeah,
what was it the Kobe? Like that, Kobe 12s, Kobe 11s.
Yeah, or you kind of do that, or he has to get like a Bron type shoe.
Yeah,
LaMelo
needs a serious contract with Nike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like your brother and you.
Yeah, like that's real.
Come on, man. Like at this point, it's genetic.
Yeah,
like LiAngelo,
oh, that's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I agree, but at the same time, I think yes, they have to go. They have to get younger. They missed on Wiseman. I would have loved to have seen Wiseman, develop with Steph more. But I think this is also the first time that Golden State will go into their rebuild without Bob Myers. People forget Bob Myers is arguably one of the greatest architects of a franchise in the history of basketball. Like the dude, you drafted Steph, you drafted Clay, and you drafted Dre, and then not to mention you went ahead and pulled off arguably the biggest free agent signing in the decade in Kevin Durant, and you won 4 championships. So I think, and I think Mike Dunleavy, I think he's the finals too. Well, they went to 4 straight finals. You went to
because you went to 4.
Exactly. Honestly, if we're being honest, Golden State really should have 5 rings right now. Yeah. Because of the one they lost to in 2016.
Golden State should be 5-5. They should be 5 out of 5 right now.
They should be 5 out of 5. And I think a lot of people don't give Bob Myers the actual respect. And I know this generation is they see what's at face value. They just see the basketball. But I think when you learn more about the behind the scenes and stuff like that, it just puts so much stuff into perspective. Like, your front office matters huge. And I remember the first time I saw Bob Myers on NBA on ESPN and on NBA Today or NBA Countdown, and I was like, why Bob Myers on there? Like, but now as I look back and I like start to learn him more and more, it's like, dang, like this is arguably the greatest architect in the history of the game, and he have him on whatever, because if we want to be, and we got to talk about Mark Jackson, we got to give Mark Jackson props. There's just no way. And Jaden brought up a very good point. It was a few years ago. We were talking. He was like, yeah, but I don't think Steve Kerr be coaching like a lot of people think he does. And that's not to say that he doesn't coach, but it's like, I feel like now, I
still stand by that.
I agree. I just think that now it's like there's not a lot of coaching that Steve Kerr is doing. It's really a lot more advocating, because I feel like with Draymond, what he's been doing and what he's been going through, I think the front office and ownership was kind of like, yo, like Dre, you got to dip. But I think with Steve Kerr, he advocated for him so much. And I was talking to Sierra about it. Like, she was like, yeah, like Steve Kerr, like he's good with me because, he advocated for Draymond Green a lot. Even when the front office was like, they were on their final straw. And I was like, that's true. And I do believe if Steve Kerr didn't advocate for Draymond, Jordan Poole would be at Golden State and Draymond would be somewhere else. So I think when you take into consideration the potential rebuild that this Warriors team is facing within the next 2 or 3 years, we got to take into account they don't have Bob Myers. I would feel a little bit more at ease if they had Bob Myers, just because of the way he's literally facilitated the creation of a dynasty. And Golden State from 2015 to 2019, they were a dynasty. And then on top of that, you win another chip 3 years later. And arguably in a season where people will think that, oh, you need a KD, but Steph and Clay and Dre, and also contributions from Andre Iguodala. I mean, even though that was his last season, so to speak, I think it made me more aware and more apparent than ever. Like, yo, like Steph didn't need KD. KD needed Steph. And we're going to see that tomorrow or tonight when Phoenix plays plays Minnesota. We're really starting, like, because KD only, like you said, like about Kawhi and LeBron, like they only gonna get older. And yes, Kevin Durant has done so much for the game of basketball, But at the same time, though, it's like, yeah, you won 2 chips, but you won with Steph, and that's great. But the real challenges was, okay, you left. You're now on Brooklyn. You went to Brooklyn. Now you're on Phoenix. Now, granted, the debacle in Brooklyn was not his fault. I will give KD that. It was not his fault. But KD is responsible for bringing in Harden, for bringing in Kyrie. KD wasn't going to go to Brooklyn without Kyrie Irving and DeAndre Jordan. Let's just face facts. Then you go to I think so. I think so. And then but then
you couldn't predict how serious
Brooklyn
how serious COVID played a factor in that. And
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't blame all that stuff. I don't blame all that.
If you were a half size shoe, less.
Yeah.
And James Harden and his health and that hamstring, and Kyrie and not wanting to take the vaccine, which I totally respect.
I respect it too. Now that I think about
it, the stars never really aligned for that in Brooklyn. Now Phoenix, yeah, he's on Phoenix with Devin Booker, but you can arguably say like this is probably this is probably the worst squad he's probably played with in his career.
I agree. Because because I think a lot of and a lot of people that's not meant to be taken like as disrespect, but it's like, we know you and D Book and Brad, y'all gonna get theirs. We know you're gonna get yours. The question is, what is your supporting cast gonna do? Because in order for KD to go to Phoenix, you had to give up Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. Like, you gave up Cam Payne, who was a great 6-man for you. And I can see why they gave up Chris Paul, because, injuries and he's getting older and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, they went to the finals with those 4 guys. Like, you got D-Book, CP3, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and Cam Payne. Not to mention Jay Crowder. You went to the finals with those 5 guys. Only 2 of which were all-stars in CP3 and D-Book. So now, the question is, we know you're going to get yours, but what is your supporting cast going to do? And playoffs, it's not only about defense, it's about your matchups.
Right.
It's about your matchups. Who on that?
Right.
Who?
At 1 o'clock today.
We're going to find out. Who on that bench is going to guard Naz Reid? I'm just saying. But yeah, all right, so last question, because we are over time, but last question. Who do y'all see hoisting up the Larry O'Brien trophy in June? Yeah, I like this.
I'm going to go with, until somebody beats them, I'm going to go with Denver.
Okay. Jaden?
Man.
That boy Jaden smiling. I won.
That's hard.
Hey, Jaden, put your frame, like, yeah, okay, there we go.
I think I probably agree with Dad. Not the team, but like what he's saying, like until somebody beats them. I think I'm gonna go with Boston.
I'm not gonna lie.
But like I said, until somebody beats them, like you just said, I would trust Denver too much, but
I trust Denver more than Boston.
I trust Denver more than Boston.
See, now y'all just like disrespecting Boston though, like,
bro. Whoa, Jaden. Let's keep it 100, bro. Jaden, hold on, Jaden.
And I'm sticking to it.
At the most, Jason Tatum, where you at?
This is the best.
Where you at though?
This is the best roster that Boston has had, probably since
Larry Bird, Mikal.
No, probably since that 08. Probably since chip. Probably since that 08.
Yeah. Since Truth and
this is the best and most complete roster that Boston has had since 08.
I agree.
And
I agree.
I think Boston's gonna get it done. At least, at the most, have a finals appearance. At the most.
We talking about winning.
Okay.
Jaden, Jaden, now you shine away.
I'm going with Boston.
I get to the finals.
Get to the finals. They ain't gonna win. Okay, so who do you? Okay,
I'm going with Boston.
Okay. All right. So Dad, you going with Boston? Or I'm sorry, Dad going with Denver. Jaden going with Boston. I ain't even gonna lie.
You going with the Clippers?
I'm going with the Clippers, man. I gotta roll with my squad. Man. I got to. Listen.
That still gonna be over in 5 games.
Hey, all right. You remember this. You remember this.
Hey, for
Listen.
your sake, you better go with the Clippers because this is gonna be it, dude.
Hey, listen.
At least I get the arena next year.
Listen, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Listen, y'all don't understand my vision. I do. That's why it's me. That's the joy of being me.
Vision.
That's the joy of being me. You feel me? You feel me? But listen. I do have the Clippers winning, and it's. I think this is probably the Clippers in the Kawhi PG era. If they don't get it done, will be arguably the biggest what if in all of NBA history. I think when you think about the what ifs, like you think about Grant Hill. What if Grant Hill had a career where he wasn't injured? What do you think about if the Bulls came back together again and competed for a 99 championship? But then I think when you think about this Clipper squad with the amount of superstar talent that they have, and not only pushing the ball, defending the ball, but also scoring the ball alongside a great Hall of Fame head coach in Tyronn Lue. If they don't get it done, it would be because, in my personal opinion, it would be because of injuries and Kawhi Leonard. You got to have Kawhi Leonard. Okay, yes, again, I get your point. I get it. But at the same time, we have seen when this team is fully healthy. This is a great team. Yeah. We've seen what they can do, man. And I don't know. I'm just really excited for it. Now, I would kind of be ticked off if like they lost to a Phoenix squad, or if they lost to a Minnesota squad, or anybody, a Lakers. But like if there would be anybody who I'd be totally fine with the Clippers losing to, it'd be the Dallas Mavericks. I'm just saying. That's just me. That's all I got to say about that.
Well, that's a real distinct possibility right now in the first round.
I mean, yeah, when you put it like that, yes, it is a very, very distinct possibility. So
I don't mind losing to the Mavericks.
I don't mind losing. I listen. I'm already getting, and if they lose, if the Clippers lose, I'm getting a Jimmy Fredette Shanghai Sharks jersey. I already made that known. You know what I mean? Because at this point, I don't trust him. Hey, folks, forget Jimmy Fredette. Real hoopers know who Jimmy Fredette was. Yeah,
I remember Jimmy Fredette.
We rock with Jimmy over here. He invited to the cookout for show. I'm just saying. But I say all that to say this. Oh, for those of you that are just watching, Mom wasn't here today. She has some things going on, but she will be on the next episode of Dad You're Wrong. And she was studying too. Like that can tell you. Like she was studying. Like she was like, yeah, I just saw like the Pelicans, they won without Zion, like, and he dropped 40 and it was like crazy. And I was like, dang, Mom, you really been doing your homework. I appreciate that. Real talk. But no, she'll definitely be on the next episode of Dad You're Wrong. But any final comments, gentlemen? Y'all good?
I'm good, man. Glad to be back. We'll get it running. We got a whole lot going on, man. NFL draft next week.
NFL draft is next week. College football is right around the corner. Baseball just started. Spencer Strider, he's out for the Braves for the whole season. He had Tommy John surgery. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting. Tyrone Taylor has been an interesting storyline for the Mets. But yeah. But anywho, yeah, we'll definitely work on being a lot more consistent, as we head into the summertime and things of that nature. But gentlemen, it's always a pleasure. I will see you all very soon. I love you guys, and I will see you guys very soon. I appreciate y'all for joining in, watching this unique episode of Dad You're Wrong, talking about the playoffs. But we'll be back. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. God bless you guys. Love. Okay.